Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Pothead Picker on Instagram. And it's episode 30. No big deal. Just 30 episodes. Another week in reselling. Off to the races. It's currently like the middle of the week. And there's like 0 yard sales listed in my town. Now a lot of people start listing them more like Thursday, Friday, but typically like if there's none at the beginning of the week, there's usually like not a ton that weekend. You know what I mean? Like last weekend there was more, and even last weekend kind of sucked. This past weekend I went out yard sailing, and Saturday it rained a little bit, like in the morning, but then it went away. But it was like, I'm trying to remember what even sales I went to. It was forgettable. There was a few that were, kind of overpriced. I'm trying to remember which. Here, let me look at my little thing here, because I can't remember where I even was on Friday or Saturday. Fucking read. All right, let me see. I'm just looking at the calendar at this point. I gotta go to my maps. I have my little like guides on Apple. Friday. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I went to this one that they do it every year. And every year I go. They always put it in the paper. So it's always like, oh, it's tempting because nobody's going to know about it. Nobody checks the paper for fucking yard sale ads anymore. And so I'm like, I know it's going to suck. It sucks every year. I've gone every year they've had it. And every year it sucks. Every single year. And they're always open late. Like, they were supposed to open at 9. I got there, like, I think 10 of. And they were like, yeah, come back in, like, another hour. I was like, all right, well. I came back, like, when I was on my way back through. And, yeah, sure enough, it's just all fucking stupid, junky shit. And never once found anything there. But I always go back. It's weird. It's like a fucking impulse. It's that FOMO. So I went there. That sale sucked, but this was Friday. And then Saturday it was like there was supposed to be a few sales, and it was all right. And then towards the end, I think my cousin and his mom had a sale, like a yard sale, in their little community. So I went over there and I found a bunch of. I pulled up to this house. On my way out, I stopped by and said hi to my family or whatever, and went to a couple sales on the, like, it was like a little loop. So I went like up one side and then around it. And when I was going down the other side of the loop, I went to this house, and I saw a box that said heavy metal and it said PlayStation. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. So I went over, and it was like a box of CDs and cassettes. And most of the CDs were, heavy metal, like stuff I like to sell. It was weird. Like half of them were in perfect condition, and then the other half were I have to test them. So I'm like, I need to do that, test them and get them listed. But if they all work, it'll be a good amount of money. I pulled one CD out that was worth like $25 right off the bat, and I paid $25 for everything. So, and it's like all Pantera, fucking Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, all types of shit, like Slipknot. So those are always fun because I like to test them. I start listening to them and shit. And it's a good way to learn about metal bands that I didn't know about, I thought I had an extensive knowledge of metal back in high school, but that was before the internet. I mean, the internet was out, but we just used it to talk to babes. You know, you talk to either fictional babes, or you talk to, like, you know, chicks at school. You try to hit on them on AIM, instant messenger and shit. Yeah. So, but yeah, I didn't have like an extensive, I mean, I thought I did, but, you know, like I said, before the internet. So there's a lot of stuff that I'll find on CDs and I'll just throw it on and listen to it, or I'll look it up on Spotify if it's like perfect condition, you know, because, you know, who has the time to test every single CD? If it's in perfect condition, you're probably okay. But some of them I do. I'm like, let me listen to that shit. And then in the other stuff that was like PlayStation stuff, it was PlayStation 1 games, and there was 2 that are pretty good. I tested them already, and they both work. One's kind of scratched, which sucks, but I always disclose it, and I put, you know, acceptable. If you do all that shit, you know, they can't really return it for not as described. They can return it for being defective, but, you know, I describe it as best as I can, so that way they know, like, yo, this thing's scratched. Because some people have disc repair shit, so that's what I'm, you know, I sold it to those people, and I just always sell it at a discount. I'm not like charging the same price for it. If there's only one, I will. You know what I mean? I'll charge the same price regardless of condition. But so there's like 2 games that are worth a good amount of money too. I forget what they're called. Something with the S, Sentient or Sentinel or something. And yeah, then the cassettes were like, you know, mix of classic rock and country, which country stuff for me doesn't sell. I just throw it in with the classic rock if it's like the older shit. But if I just try to sell country, I still have like a country lot of shit that I'm just going to take and put in the next yard sale. Because it just, I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm selling the wrong shit. I don't know. I don't have a ton of country. It's just a little bit of a couple CDs, you know. But yeah. Then I went to a sale that had some comic books. And I'd been there before. I kind of recognized the address, but I don't think I had put it into my Apple, my iPhone shit. So it didn't tell me that I had been there. So I went there like later on. It wasn't like, it was right up the street from the other sale anyway. But I got some comic books for like $2 a piece. And then she gave me a deal on it. So I got a bunch of shit for like $30 or something. So I made enough to pay for the comics, and then I just throw the comics in a big lot, which I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with them later. So fantasy football starting soon. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. There's only a couple more weeks till we draft. I'll only talk about this real quick just because it's, you know, it's going to consume my life for the next few months. But yeah, started doing all the research. It's always fun. Anyway, all right, next topic. So camping. I'm going camping this weekend. We started going camping like last year. We take the girls. It's fun. They were super young last year. This year they're a little bit older. So I think they'll be fine. You know, it's where we live. It's like, you know, not far from our house. But last year we went. So it was, hold on a second. It was like a weekend that there was no sales. It was supposed to be rainy, like partly rainy. And so we camped there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so Saturday there weren't really any sales. And then like I think Friday night or Thursday night, a sale popped up Saturday morning, just on Craigslist, and it said that they had Christmas decorations, CDs, or heavy metal, and heavy metal CDs, and then something else. So I went there, and I got there like first, and I walked up, and I should have just like told them what I was there for. I do this now, like because of shit like this. But like I walked up and like was sitting there I talked to the people. They, asked if I could wait till they set up a little bit. So I went and, sat in the car, and like as I was sitting in the car, somebody pulled up, and I recognized them as being another reseller. So as soon as they got there, I started getting out of the car, and I was walking over, and he was like walking towards the blow molds. So she had blow molds. I saw those right away. And so he was walking towards them. So I said, "Excuse me, how much for all the blow molds or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm grabbing them." And he started to put his hand on it. And I was like, "Well, actually, I was here waiting, and I already talked to her. Like, I was just waiting in my car. I just wasn't going to walk up and start grabbing stuff. I was trying to be, respectful of them." And the lady was like, "Yeah, he was here first." And so he was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to buy this one." I was like, "Oh, well, I don't want to make you uncomfortable or whatever, And I said this to the lady, like, but I was here waiting. I had asked you if I could, come up, and you said to wait or whatever. And she's like, "Yeah, I did ask him to wait." So she let me buy him. And this dipshit was so like wrapped up in it that he forgot about the other shit that was there. So I was like, "Oh, and I was also wondering about those heavy metal CDs I saw in your ad." She's like, "Oh," and she brought me over to him. And I could tell like he was like starting to get heated. So she ended up wanting like $20. She called whoever's they were, and he only wanted $20 for all the CDs. And so I got it, and I ended up making like $500-600 off the CDs. And then I sold the blow molds all locally, so I didn't even have to ship them. That's how I met my blow mold guy. So every time I get blow molds, I just hit him up, and usually he buys them depending on what they are. Mainly it's like snowmen every time, I guess. He's like, his wife loves snowmen, blow molds. And so, yeah, so this dude was like, at this point, he was being like a fucking dick. Like, he was kind of being rude to the people and shit. So they sold him like a video game statue or something like that. And so like he ended up leaving. And so I was like, "Oh, do you have anything else like this stuff coming?" Like blah, 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 blah. And they ended up bringing out like a few video game statues. There was like a Joker statue. So I ended up selling like, making a bunch of money. And they're like, "Yeah, we'll take these out for you because you were cool," whatever. But I asked the lady if they had any heavy metal T-shirts, and she's like, "No, we donated them all." She's like, "We didn't think anybody would want them." I was like, "Fuck, dude." That's literally every time I ask for T-shirts, that's what they say. Or they've the dude that I usually give, certain stuff, vintage clothes to, has like been taking them. You know what I mean? Like he's beat me to it. Not beat me to it, but like, has been there first. But like every time I get to somebody, I'm like, "Yeah, do you have T-shirts or whatever?" Like, we donated them. I've had video games, not so much. Like a lot of times people still have video games, but there's been times when people are like, "Oh yeah, I just donated them while I was getting ready for the yard sale." It's like, you're having a yard sale and you didn't think that you'd want to put this out for, you know what I mean? Like, so just the things that people don't value. But every time I'm like, they're like, "Oh yeah, I just donated a bunch of T-shirts." I'm like, motherfucker. So, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that was last year's camping, and this year there's like no sales, which is nice because I don't get FOMO. But I'm still gonna run out, and see if there's any sales, because I'll be at a different part of town, and then like I'm right at home, so I can always run the shit back if I need to. But yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully there's some more sales. But camping's always fun. This place that we go is pretty sick. They have like a lake, And then there's like a, an inflatable thing in the lake that you can like bounce off of. And then there's playground. So my oldest will be a little bit older. She'll be able to do a little bit more. We rented what's called a cool cart for the weekend. So it's like a souped up golf cart. So we're pretty excited. I'm not so excited about sleeping in a tent, but I could do without that. Our friends rented a camper, which I didn't even think was an option, but like, yeah, probably. So I don't know. That might be the route to go next year. You know what I mean? But then you're just kind of, it's not even camping at that point. But I do like comfort, you know what I mean? Because I sleep like shit when I camp. I'd like to sleep good. You're just sleeping, you know what I mean? So who gives a shit where you're sleeping? You're spending the most of the day outside. You're just drinking outside all day. That's what I'm excited for, day drinking. Like day drinking, I like to day drink Bud. Well, I mean, I only exclusively drink Bud Lights now. I'm not like, they're not like a sponsor, but it's just easier to drink them, drink those, one of those, one water, try to, pace yourself. So I never used to be able to do that. Just drink a little bit, but camping's where you can day drink and it's acceptable. All the other trash dads are doing it too. But yeah, so I just bought a table. I went to a yard sale and I don't know if I talked about this. I don't think I did, but at the one of the sales I went to recently, I got what I thought was, I posted it on my Instagram too, like a fucking loser. But I thought it was Canadian Goose, which is like, goes for crazy money. It was Canadian like weather gear, but it looks exactly the same, like even the patch. But it's still like, a come up. I'm still going to make some money, but I would like 100% thought it was that. I didn't even think, and it had stains on it. Like, so I had to like fucking wash. So I'm washing it, and the whole time I didn't even look at it. And then finally when I had to list it, I was like, oh, let me look and see what it's actually called. And then it was like Canada Weather Gear. And I was like, and I put that in, and it's not the same thing. Not the same thing at all. So I was pretty bummed about that, but I still got like Patagonia, North Face, and then the Canada Weather Gear or whatever. So if I can get like $60 for it, it's like whatever. I think I paid $20 for everything. Or $40 maybe, because I got a couple other things. Yeah, maybe $40. I don't remember. So yeah. It's been kind of dry other than that, but like I found some stuff. I got some marbles. So I have a bag of marbles that I got this last weekend. And I always fucking do this to myself. If there's a bag of marbles for $5, I'm going to buy it. And these ones are actually in really good shape. And I did the black light. There's only one that's like green, but they all definitely are older. Just based on my limited knowledge of marbles. It's one of the things I'm trying to learn. And I actually found a video. The guy is so fucking dorky, and he's talking about marbles and shit. So it's like I'm trying to pay attention to this fucking dork talking about marbles. And I finally think I found, there was a video that I must have started at some point that I didn't finish. So he's like talking about a specific type of marbles, but I shut it off because I thought like, but then I realized like, oh, he's talking about like all the different types of marbles, and like this is just the one that he's focusing on. And so then I started to listen to it, and I actually kind of started to make sense. I was like, oh, I definitely ID based on what he's saying. So I've started to get it. I just have to watch a video and then look at them at the same time. I was watching a video while I was like taking a shit or something. I don't remember. But I'm like determined to learn about them. I have a bunch of marbles. I have another bag that's not in such great shape, but I always get them so cheap, and sometimes it's not worth it. Like I have another bag that I know is not, I think I paid $1 or 50 cents or something for it. And it's definitely not worth it. So I just throw that one in the yard sale pile. And these other ones, like, I can tell. And then I have a bag of jewelry that I want to go to the jeweler. And, because there's a jeweler in town that I've gone to in the past that they'll take a look at the shit for you and tell you what it's worth. And, not what it's worth, but like, because I can do that online. But there's a couple that I'm not sure if their stones are what the stones are. Or, you know what I mean? There's like a couple that everything's marked. So I know what they are, but I don't know what like certain stones are. And there's some things I'm not sure if a pearl. So those are all in there. We'll see. So I'll bring that in. I'm sure they love doing that shit. But yeah, and it depends on how much it's worth. If it's worth enough, I might just because they'll buy it and shit. They'll pay a certain amount of money for certain shit, and they'll be like, they'll look at it and they'll be like, yeah, I'll give you this much for it, whatever. So, but yeah, I should like, I don't know, focus more on jewelry. It's hard though, because you got to sit and like look at it. My eyes are such shit that I need like a crazy like I use a fucking big flashlight, a flashlight that I actually found at my wife's grandma's house when we were doing the estate clean out. There was like a bunch of shit that they were like, just anything that was in the house, and it's like the most powerful fucking flashlight I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. So I took that, and that's like the flashlight. The kids aren't allowed to touch it because they love flashlights and shit. They love to control light. It's one thing about children. It's like, give them the power to control light. They're like, they feel like gods. Then it goes to their heads and they act like little shits. Yeah, I had like yesterday. I don't get days like this very often, but I had a day yesterday where I just did not feel like doing shit. Like I did some stuff for the business, very limited. But like I was just not great at parenting yesterday. It was just one of those fucking. I didn't work out. Like I just didn't do shit. It was just like I very rarely does it happen, but every once in a while I'm just like, dude, I don't feel like doing shit. Like, and it happens maybe once every 2 years, and I'm like, man, I just did not feel like doing shit today. It happens more than that. Not more than that, but like if I'm hungover and shit, like, but like yeah. It was just one of those days that I was just like, dude, I do not feel. It wasn't like I was depressed. I was just, my back was bothering me a little bit. And like, I didn't set an alarm. So today I set an alarm, went to bed earlier. Like I didn't go to bed crazy or like late, but like I should have gone to bed earlier. And when I woke up, like I woke up late. Like I didn't mean to sleep that much, I think. Not that much because I went to bed like later. So like I didn't mean to like I didn't set an alarm for whatever reason. Because usually I set the alarm so I'm up a little bit earlier than the kids so I can get shit ready, whatever. But I was like, I'm not going to set an alarm tomorrow. I'm going to sleep in. And when I woke up, like the kids were already awake. And like she came right in. So like whenever I don't have the time to like wake up, I'm just like, and the kids are, because they're on a 10 from the moment you wake up. Like the second you fucking wake up, it's like they're on a 10. Like, sorry, I'm trying to fix this thing. But they're instantly like, fucking, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? What? Why? You know what I mean? So you got to give yourself a minute to like warm up, give your brain a minute to like fucking fire up. And if they're just doing that, you can easily get like overstimulated and just like fucking. So I just like didn't shut down, but I was just like, I can't do shit right now. Like, so we just chilled out. They played, but then everything they wanted to play like involved me. And so I was just like trying to redirect them to other shit that didn't involve me. Like, yo, just let me fucking sit here. Like, you know what I mean? But then today I was like, all right, I'm going to go to bed early, set an alarm, fucking, and like we've been doing shit all day. So right now they're resting. And I told my daughter, like, she needs to fucking sleep. She gets like cranky and shit later in the day, but she doesn't want to sleep. So she starts her new school, like preschool soon. Which is going to be weird. I'll have one kid for most of the day. I was already trying to like talk myself out of it, but I'm like, dude, just your kid needs to go to school for like the full day. Like, that's fine. She'll be fucking cool. She's only like 8 minutes away. So it's and they're like pretty like locked down. They don't like, they have like this fucking lady who's just like, she seemed like she was not like a bitch, but you know, she seemed like she didn't take shit. And didn't let anybody, like, you have to like buzz in and like, you know, state why you're there. So it's pretty like, you know, pretty good. So, and then yeah, I don't know why I just my brain just went there, but yeah, so it's just gonna be weird like having one kid, because it's been so long since I had one kid. Oh shit, what's going on here? Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'm trying to watch the monitors while I'm doing this. You know what it is if you've been listening long enough. Hold on. But yeah, it'll be nice though. I should be able to get a little bit more done. You know what I mean? Because I was used to doing a bunch of shit when I had one kid. You have a little bit more energy. Like, it's gonna be weird because we're gonna have to push our schedule up a little bit. So we're gonna have to get up earlier, and then my youngest will have to nap earlier. And so we're gonna basically, you know, but it's not gonna be as early as I thought. I thought it was gonna be like earlier in the day that she gets out, but she gets out a little bit later. So it's a shorter day than she was doing before. And it'll be Monday through Friday, which is nice. So, but it'll just, you know, it's just a new dynamic. Yeah, and it'll be nice because I get to spend a little bit more time with the youngest, like solo. Like, me and the older one had all the solo time when she was younger. So I think that's part of why she like misbehaves too sometimes. It's like you know, I don't think she does it like on purpose. It's just kind of like out of, you know, just like instinct. I don't know. I think it's just like, I don't think she knows why. But she's not like a misbehaved kid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like when she does, sometimes she's like, you know, if the younger one's getting a little bit more attention, she gets a little like fucking upset. Not upset, but she kind of like, you know, gets more extra. Anyway, let me go. Oh, that's a half hour. I was struggling in the first 5 minutes. I was like, honestly, I was like, shit, should I even do this today? I wasn't really feeling it. It took me a minute to get into it. But otherwise I wasn't going to have time to do it because we're going camping this weekend, like I said. But now, you know, halfway through, like just fucking cruising. So let me take a look and see what type of shit that I had to talk about. This was just like a random thought that I had because I don't know. It seems like the way that's going is like Blu-ray and DVDs are like going to be at least like greatly reduced as far as being made. You know, I think Best Buy stopped carrying them, like physical media. I hope they don't go that way with video games. You know what I mean? Because part of the reason that I love like video games is that you can buy, like I buy the physical copy so that way you can sell it if you want to down the road. You know, sell it to buy more games. I got a game the other day that was, oh shit, that just like went way too high. I got a game the other day that was too shitty to play. Like I can't even play it. And I was excited because I don't have a ton of PS5 games. So I'm like, you know, I still have a game I'm in the middle of. So it seems pointless to me to start a new game. I'm like, I'm still finishing this. And I'm still in the middle of like 8 Zelda games. I'm in the middle of Breath of the Wild 2. I'm in the middle of like Ocarina of Time. Like I started a bunch of Zelda games and I'm just like paused them all. So right now I'm just playing Valhalla. I need to finish that, and then I need to finish some of these Zelda games because I've got a bunch of them I'm in the middle of. got a large collection of Zelda games across different platforms. My favorite is not obviously, but my favorite is Ocarina of Time, just because that was like the one that got me. No, that wasn't the one that got me into it, because I was playing the one on like Super Nintendo and Nintendo and shit. Like I grew up on that shit. But like Ocarina of Time, the one that you could ride the horse, when you have to free the horse and then you could ride the horse for the rest of the game, that was fucking sick. I wish they would go back to doing that. Like I hate the open world. Like that's why I haven't finished Breath of the Wild too. Like I like it. It's fun. It's kind of like, it's relaxing. I fall asleep playing it a lot, not in a bad way. It's just everything's just so like the sound, the like the music, the everything is just very, very relaxing. And so yeah, but like I just hate the fact that you can just go wherever you want at any time. Like in Ocarina of Time, well, even like the older games, you have to get something to get to the next point, and then like you'd have to get like a grappling hook, and then you could go back and like go to, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't exist in the newer ones. It's just like open world, finding a ton of shit. It feels more like a chore than like anything else. Like it's fun, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but there's a reason it's taken me so long to go back to it. And then, but yeah, Ocarina of Time, man. That game was friggin' sick. Epona, when you play the song and she becomes your horse, and you fucking ride that bitch. You gotta jump over the stable, and then you escape. You ride into the fucking. There's no consequences from stealing the horse, none whatsoever. You just get to keep the horse scot free. You know, because you jumped over the fence. Pretty fucking sick. And then you get the sword, the sword and the shield, and you get all the shit together. And then like the shield's too big for you when you're a kid, and then it's like perfect for you when you're an adult. Oh, it's such a good game, man. I think I'm gonna play that. That's gonna be the next game I'm gonna go in and play. But it's so long. It takes so long to get through. But I like it too because you don't have to like do, you know what I mean? Like my wife's playing Zelda right now, and she hasn't. I don't know if she's finished it. Like I don't think she's actually beat the final boss because she's trying to do like everything 100%. And I'm like, that's fucking insane. And I know you can do that for Ocarina of Time. Like, you know, there's a bunch of shit that you kind of have to collect and whatever, but it's not nearly as much as in Breath of the Wild. Like I remember there was something that you had to do to get like a crazy good sword. You had to like talk to the Gorons and then do some crazy shit. I don't know why I'm going in depth on Ocarina of Time right now, but that's the type of podcast it is right now. You know what I mean? It's either that or dead air. It's me talking about Zelda or dead air. The hell was that noise? Yeah, it's been like strange weather too. Like it's been like cooler. It's August right now. It's usually the hottest time of the year, but it's been like cooler the last few days. So we've been trying to get outside, which is like, it's still, I know I've been saying this every week, like beating a fucking dead horse, but for some reason there's like no yard sales, just not a ton. When I go other places, like there's just, I'm part of some other groups for the next state over, and there's just constantly yard sale posts. I'm like, why the fuck is that not like it is here? That's in the entire state. Like obviously as you get closer to, you know, Boston and shit, you're gonna find more, but like even in the populated areas, there's not a ton that are listed. It's crazy. And driving around, there hasn't been a bunch. I don't know if people are just selling online more or trying to sell online, but I don't know what's going on. I'm still doing fine as far as finding shit. And it's nice because I don't find a ton of shit, but like the shit I'm finding is quality. So it's been nice. So I was at a yard sale the other day, and it was like, I think it was like 15 minutes till they were starting, and it had rained a little bit, so fairness to these people, like, yeah, it did rain, but it had rained like an hour before they were supposed to be setting up. And so these people were like just starting to get set up. And this dude was bringing like one or two things out at a time, just taking his time, like, just like so slow. And so I'm waiting, and I knew that they had video games because they had posted something. And so the other guy that was there had already asked about video games, and he was there before me. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just kind of wait. They brought out the video games, and it was like not great. And then I was like, then they started saying that they like sell at flea markets and shit. So I was like, all right, like, let me just take what I can find and get out of here. So I got like a Grateful Dead hat, and like I was trying to get a band sweatshirt and a t-shirt, and his math was like not great at all. He was like, he wanted 50 for everything. I had like 2 posters and a Grateful Dead hat and 2 comic books. And he wanted 50 for everything and a sweatshirt and a t-shirt, like a band. So it was like a Dream Theater sweatshirt and like a 2019 Alice in Chains and Korn t-shirt. And so he wanted like, 50 for everything. So I was like, oh, how much for just this stuff without the shirt and the sweatshirt? He was like, 20. So I was like, and then he was like, yeah, I need to get at least like 5 each for the band t-shirts. And then that sweater is like whatever. I was like, no, I feel you, whatever. So I just paid 20 for the other shit, which was fine, because the hat goes for like 25. And then one of the posters, I found just some stuff about the artist, like not stuff, but just some of his other works. And it's just like, it's crazy artwork. It's like very like politically driven from like 2004, 2005. A lot of like Iraqi war symbolism, and like I'm gonna post it on my Instagram eventually, probably today, after I post the show on there. My mouth is so dry right now, but it's very like there's a lot of shit going on. It's like a Where's Waldo type, not Where's Waldo, but there's just a lot of crazy shit on there. But it's from like 2004. It's from Che Araj, I think. I don't is the name. But when you put that name in, like, there's just a couple other posters, and then I had to Google Lens it to finally find the same one, and it said like Reagan Babies. So I don't know if it was artwork for a band back in the day, but I don't know. But that's the name of the artwork. It's like Reagan Babies or something too. So yeah, but that was cool. And then there was like an Iron Maiden poster that's pretty sick, but it's a little beat up, so I might get like $20 for it. So yeah, but while I was waiting there for them to open, the guy that was there before me, this guy would not shut the fuck up. Like, I almost had to leave, but I was like, you know what? I've invested this much time. There's no other sales today. I'm just going to go right home after this. I'm here. They're about to be done setting up. I'll just grab a few things. And this guy just was talking, would not stop fucking talking. And he like, I'm trying to even think of what he was even talking about. Like, he was just one of those people that, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they're getting set up, like, let them get set up. So, but he just kept talking to the chick, and then she kept stopping to talk to him. It was like one of those situations where you're just like she didn't mind that he was interrupting her. Like, she was just like happy to stop. And then like the dude brought out like a few things, like barely got set up. It was like, at this point, it was like 15 minutes past when their sale was supposed to be starting. And he like didn't have all his shit out. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I got to take a break for a little bit. Like, this dude needed to take a break having a yard sale. And he barely had brought any shit out. And then I saw a picture of the yard sale later, and he did bring out a bunch more stuff. It looked like all bullshit. Like, all the video games look like, sports games and shit like that. And, but it was just like, what? Your sale's supposed to be at 9, and you're taking a break at 9:15 from setting up the rest of your shit. So that was like, at that point, I was already out on the sale. Like, I was ready to go, because his prices were a little bit high on shit, and I was just like, I think I had like $25 left anyway, so I was just trying to like find a few things and then head back from the last sale that I went to. Which at the same sale that I got the marbles, I got some bubble wrap, which was crazy. That's never happened. It was like brand new bubble wrap, and I got like 2 rolls for $5, so that was pretty sick. And yeah, and then as I was I bought this microphone thing. It was like a karaoke microphone. I was gonna give it to my daughter, but then the more I thought about it, I was just like, this thing is gonna be annoying as shit. And the thing that sold me about not giving it to her, because it's like worth $30 or something like that, So I think I paid $1 for it. And so as I was walking out of the sale, it was like you had to walk in through the backyard and then walk around this like long. It was like in a nice community or whatever, in like a richer, like nicer house, whatever. The house had like multiple entrances and shit. And I like how that's how I gauge a nice house. So there's multiple entry points. And so then as I'm walking out, all of a sudden I hear like a high pitched noise, and I'm like, dude, did I set off like some type of fucking alarm? And so as I'm walking, and it's just like I can't tell where this alarm's coming from. I'm like, dude, this is like fucking tripping me out. It's like high pitched. The dogs are barking in the distance at this point. Like it's like crazy. So it's going off, and then finally I'm going to put the shit in the car, and I'm like, I realize it's the microphone. Like I don't know what like I must have hit some button or something, and there was like feedback, and yeah, it just completely was tripping me out, dude. It was like I thought I had that shit. What those people say they have? Havana syndrome. The shit all the people lie and say they have, that's like not a thing. Yeah, I was really tripping. I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like it was such a trippy noise, and like I legit, it was coming from right in front of me, but it sounded like, because of the way it was like the reverb or the echo or whatever the fuck you want to call it from that shit, I couldn't tell where it was coming from. It was fucking crazy. It was like, yeah, I thought I was having a stroke or something. I really did. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like at first I thought I tripped an alarm, and then I was like, yo, this is a crazy ass alarm system. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, I don't see anything where it would be coming out of. Oh man, I'm just glad there was nobody else around to see it. It was just me by myself, because it was like a rainier day, and I'm just like walking there like fucking making this high pitched sound, like probably damaging my fucking eardrums even more than they already are since having children. Between concerts and like children and shit, my ears are fucked. Speaking of children, my fucking youngest dude is she gets into fucking everything. Not like, yeah, she gets into everything. Like if you give her the opportunity. And so we have these little ant traps, because we have these fucking stupid ants everywhere. And like, we like, it's not from like the food, like we clean their food constantly. There's constantly food on the fucking floor. We're constantly cleaning it. But just the area that we live in, we just get like fucking ants every year, same time. They like come and go, and we put these fucking ant traps out and we hide them. And somehow she found one. I don't know where she found it, but I'm like walking in the kitchen, or in the like not the kitchen, but like where we sit and hang out in like the basement area, and the floor is sticky. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I stepped in tape, and I was like looking around for a piece of tape. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is my feet sticky? And I look down and I see the ant trap, and I look over at my fucking daughter. I know it's her, like instantly. And she's just like got this stupid ass smile on her face, and her hair, I had already laughed at her hair because her hair was like standing straight up, like slicked back. And she's always got shit in her hair, and shit in her fucking hand. So I'm just like, oh, that's just like from breakfast or whatever. So no, once I started feeling the sticky shit on my feet and I looked down, there's fucking ant trap there, and it's the stuff's leaked all over the floor. And then I'm like, I put two and two together, so I'm like, I grabbed her, I like had to fucking rinse her off. So that was like how we started the week. That was the beginning of the week, that was on Monday. So I like had to run her under the sink. Like I'm pretty sure she didn't eat any of it because I checked her hands and there wasn't anything like on her hands, and her hands weren't like, they didn't seem like she had been like licking them or anything. I think she just put it in her hair. So if she did, she probably got a very small amount into her. But I mean, I rinsed her, fucking washed her hands, washed everything, got her changed, cleaned up all the ant shit everywhere. But I'm just like, it was fucking, her hair was just standing straight up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Why? Fucking, she's, dude, just into everything. Yeah. And then, yeah, man, my kids and sugar. My kid wanted to make muffins the other day. So my wife, I let them do the baking shit because I do most of the cooking all the time. So, and I suck at baking. Like, I don't have the patience to. I mean, I can bake certain shit if I like put my mind to it. But like, I made a birthday cake for my daughter's first birthday, and it came out. It was like a layered cake, and it looked fucking terrible. It was horrible. It was supposed to be a rainbow cake, and yeah, everybody ate it and was like, "Yeah, it's good." It was not fucking good. It was really fucking bad. Like, it was probably the worst cake that anybody's ever eaten. You know what I mean? But luckily, I also cooked like bomb lunch, so everybody was like, "Oh, well, he can cook, but he can't fucking bake for shit." And so what the fuck's my kid doing? So yeah, so I let them do the baking. So they made muffins the other day. And yeah, dude, my kid has like half a muffin. And she's like, gets disrespectful, starts bouncing off the walls just from like a little bit of sugar. It's crazy the way the attitude shifts. And then if you see kids like on like red dye and shit, like, or the blue dye or whatever, whatever the fucking blue sugar, red sugar, all that shit, you'll just see their faces, like their mouths will be fucking red, screaming like, rah. But that shit is like, man, like my oldest is to a point that if she tastes shit like that, she's like, ugh, it's gross. Like, that shit's like an acquired taste. Like, your kids shouldn't be into fucking red sugar. Like, when I used to work at Chili's, we had these fucking, the Blue Blast and the red, what the fuck were they called? The Red Punch or some shit. And people would come and give them to their kids like at like, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, like late-ish, you know what I mean? And it's just like straight sugar, and these kids would just be like, and it's probably high fructose corn syrup too, which is like even worse. Like, it's, I mean, they're both bad, but yeah, just that shit's and these kids would just be fucking wired. You're like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, the Blue Blast, I still remember that shit. Like, it blast your kid into fucking a lifetime addiction to sugar and fucking all right, I'm going through my other things here. Let's see. So I got negative feedback recently. Again, dude, every time I get it, it's always nonsense. And the fact that they don't remove it when it's nonsense is crazy. So I had somebody who bought 4 PlayStation 3, like the Move remotes, and then the the camera or whatever. And so send them out like same day, I think. Gets there, they send me a message, "Hi, these controllers don't work, blah 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 blah. Please advice." I'm like, okay. So anytime they say put please advice, I'm like, all right, this is obviously somebody who's trying to scam something. It's like, it's obvious, you know what I mean? So I reply, I go, well, they might need to be charged Like they were already charged. Like I charged them and tested them, so I know they were working. And so I sent them to the dude and or whoever working. And so they're like, yeah, please advise. And so I just said, try charging them. Sometimes they might just need to be charged before, and then, pair it to the system and you should be good to go. And then all of a sudden I get a negative feedback like a day or two later that's like 4 remotes that were sent didn't work. Reached out to the buyer and didn't hear anything back. Like, so then I reached out to eBay for removal. They wouldn't remove it. I'm like, all right, they just removed them for me, so I'm not going to be as mad. I get it. They're not going to fucking do anything. That's just what they do. They're useless. So I reach out to them, tell them that they can return it, blah, 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 and to please consider revising the feedback. Sent them feedback revision. Don't hear back from them from any of the messages. I'm like, all right. At this point, it should be removed. If like I've reached out several times trying to work something out with them, and they are refusing to, do anything, it should be removed. And so then I had to comment on it because that's what eBay tells you to do. And so I'm just like, hi, I've reached out to you several times and haven't heard anything back. You're still able to return this, blah, 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 blah. And like, so I have no idea why people do that. They just like either return it or don't, but like to buy it, reach out to me. I respond. I feel like even if I had responded like, hey, go ahead and return it, or here's a refund, they probably would have still given me negative feedback. So I just was not going to even, I just said, fuck it. All right, well, I'm not going to try to push it till an hour. I got shit to do. My kid's like, I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's standing outside of her room, so she probably needs me. That's the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend. It's episode 30. 30 episodes. It'll be a year in like November. I just checked. So I don't know how that works if you haven't done 52 episodes. Because we definitely won't have 52 episodes by then. Because I do like, a couple weeks every here and there. But, I mean, got to get credit for at least a year's consistent podcast, right? At this point, I mean, this train's fucking rolling, baby. Roughly related to reselling, baby. Anyway, all right, that's the podcast. See you next week.